Hi everyone, my name is Mehar Sindhu Batra and I'm back with another video. Today's video is another interview series where I'm going to be interviewing my brother Pranshu, who is a national level table tennis player. He completed his Bachelor's of Economics from St. Stephen's College, Delhi University. Post that, he went on to do his Master's in Business from Warwick Business School, United Kingdom. After that, he moved back to India to establish his own logistics business. So let's hear about how he managed to establish a successful business in such a short period of time at such a young age. Please welcome Pranshu Gupta. Hi Pranshu.
Hi Mia, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Are you enjoying your stay in London?
It's amazing, I know, even though it's a lockdown, but still things are open. We are going out, we're going to different parks and everything, but it's good.
Yeah, great. So for those of you who watched the previous interview with Shreya Batra Gupta, that's actually the wife of Pranshu Gupta. So now you know the couple. We have interviewed both of them on our channel. Okay, so then let's kick off with all the questions you all sent to me to ask Pranshu. So Pranshu, let's start from the very beginning. You are from New Delhi. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your childhood and your schooling?
Okay, so I was actually born in a small town in Uttar Pradesh, India, and then later it was around the second standard that I moved to Delhi, and it was in 9th class that I finally shifted to DPS RK Puram, one of the very reputed school in Delhi. And I think it was a great learning for me, because I was coming from a small city, then moving to Delhi, meeting so many people from different background. And DPS, I met people from business backgrounds, I met people from like IS families, from big corporates. I think it was an amazing experience. You get to know so much about different people, their mindset, and that was, I think, one of the main highlights I will say that I had in DPS RK Puram.
Wonderful. And then what about 11th grade?
Don't ask me about 11th grade. I was also one of those who thought engineering could be I can go ahead and pursue it, but in 11th I took engineering with economics, and I was a little confused because I was good at maths, numbers, so I was like, I might want to go to economics and keep that as an option. And also doing my engineering classes, IIT training, and also it was very tough. I was a pretty average student in school. I won't say I was doing very great, but yeah, I was doing well with the school scan. So yeah, so I think with economics and with engineering side by side, I was maintaining my marks and not doing amazingly well in both the things, but it was a good time for me. I was having a good time. You guys know DPS RK Puram, so I was having a good time in the school, doing a lot of extracurricular activities. So it was a great opportunity for me in DPS.
So let's talk about your extracurriculars. Pranshu was actually a national level table tennis player. Pranshu, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because you're saying you were an average student, but I think that was because you were doing so many other things. So let's talk about how you got into table tennis and why did that inspire you to keep going?
I think it's a very funny story. It was around I think 4th or 5th standard. I used to go for a lawn tennis coaching where my father used to play, and there I just started playing tennis. It was just my first year of lawn tennis, and I was taking personal classes for that. In school, the school I was in, there was no enough infrastructure and equipment for lawn tennis, so I was like, why not take table tennis as a sport? And it was just by luck I started playing with the coach, the school coach, the students. And I think within 1 year, my coach saw something in me, and he literally convinced my father and forced him. I don't think he's meant for lawn tennis. These were his words. He should play table tennis. And from there, I think I have been playing table tennis for last 15 years.
Wow.
And out of which 10 years were professional, playing maybe 6 or 7 hours a day. So it was a great experience for me. I think sports really teaches us a lot.
That's amazing, Pranshu. So when you think about, your last 2 years of your schooling, what was that one moment as a table tennis player that you still remember?
I feel in my 11th, 12th, because I was doing so many things. I was going for my coaching classes for engineering, then I was wanted to do good in my 12th standards for economics honors if I wanted to pursue that, and then my sports. So I think it was a very tough time for me managing all three of them at one point of time was very tough. And I remember playing for tournaments, not being able to perform that much because the time I used to give to table tennis in 10th was like 8 hours a day. And then from 8 hours, you're playing half an hour, 1 hour. That was very tough. You would have, you would lose to a lot of players who were not even close to you 1 year ago. So I think it was a tough time for me. But yeah, I tried to keep a balance in all three of them because I wasn't really sure whether I wanted to even pursue a career in table tennis or not. So I think I was doing average good in all three of them, and it was a perfect balance for me in that time, 11th and 12th.
So then what happened? Like once you gave the board exams for 12th, how much did you score and what was your initial thought that came to your mind?
So in 12th I scored 90%.
Wow, in
best-
science.
In science with eco. And I think that time I think in 11th I was pretty sure, I think towards the end of my 11th exams I was sure that I'm not meant for this chemistry, physics and engineering, and table tennis as a career at that time sports wasn't really doing that well. So I was like, I'm good with maths, I'm good with eco, I have a business family, I'm coming from that family, so I should go for something in which I can actually pursue my dreams of becoming an entrepreneur and at the same time playing sports, because that was something I really didn't want to lose and continue playing. So I was like, let's go ahead with economic honors. And then that was the time I pursued eco honors from St. Stephen's College.
So that sounds like a very traumatic and confusing time for you. What is the one advice that you would give to your younger self who was in 11th, 12th, or maybe to young students who are sitting for the board exams right now?
I think don't take a lot of pressure on yourself. These are the times when you will be confused, and don't think people who you've seen or are successful that they were not confused or they were pretty clear. Those things will be there, and it's just that you manage yourself, keep your mind clear in the things you have, and whatever thing you are doing, just go ahead with that. Like when I was playing sport, I was doing it. When I was studying for my science, when I'm engineering, I was doing it. So those challenges and those a lot of thoughts like I want to do a doctor, I would be a CA or go for a professional course, those things will be there. But be clear on your mind. Don't take a lot of pressure on those things. You have a long way ahead, and I think still we are trying to figure at this age what we want to do. So at an age of 16 or 17, it's just nothing. So that's what it is.
So be easy on yourself and
Yeah.
follow your passions.
Follow your passions. Yeah.
Great. So then let's talk about you getting into St. Stephen's College for Economic Honors. So what was the process of getting into St. Stephen's?
So there were actually 3 levels. First was the athletic competition, where I was competing with approximately 200 athletes across 15 sporting games, which included tennis, basketball, table tennis, swimming. And after clearing that, there was a test on my economics knowledge, which was taken by a panel of the economics HODs of St. Stephen's College. Post that, it was the final round, which was the personality and the aptitude test taken by the vice principal and the principal of the St. Stephen's College. So it was a tough one for me, and coming from a sports thing, I didn't expect such a challenging environment, because if you consider other Delhi University colleges like SRCC, Ansaraj, they usually don't have such levels. It's just a competition within the sports, and if you get through, you have the admission, you have a seat secure. So but Stephen's was different. You have to pass all the 3 levels, and out of 200 students, only 2 people get a final seat in the economics honors.
Wow,
Yeah.
so you were one of the 2 out of 200.
Yeah, that's true.
That's amazing. So that must have been very difficult and
Yeah, it was difficult, and I think that's why I started my preparation immediately after my board exams. For next 2 months, I was just playing, working on my personality, aptitude, and then also not forgetting what I studied in 12th class for my board exams.
yeah.
So it was not a very easy thing, but yeah, I think I enjoyed it because I really wanted to be a part of St. Stephen's College. And from my table tennis sport, I don't think there was a single person in last 10 years who would have secured a seat in economics honors.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I was really looking up to that, and
That's so
luckily I
amazing.
was-
So do you think that's your moment of pride? Is that your proudest moment of your life?
I can say that it is definitely one of my proudest moments, and because even me, even my friends, my family, we were not even sure that even I'll get through St. Stephen's College, because for last 4-5 years I was playing table tennis. I knew my seniors, none of them were even thinking of applying to St. Stephen's College, and here I am sitting with a seat at Economics Honours. So it was a proud moment for me.
That's so amazing, friends. There is a lesson here. Have a big goal and then break it down and work towards it. Like Pranshu said, St. Stephen's was not just about technical knowledge, it was also about the athletic, your capabilities as a sports person. So he made sure that he was building his skills in both those areas, and that's what you have to keep in mind. You have to build your personality overall, and then great things will happen for you. Right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your experience at Delhi University, studying one of the most difficult courses in the most prestigious college of India. How did it feel, and how was it? Was it challenging? Was it best time of your life? And what about table tennis at that time? Were you still playing?
Yeah, I was playing table tennis, but it was like from playing 6 hours a day in 10 to maybe reduced to even 2 days a week. So that's what it finally came down to, because it's not, as she said, it's not an easy course. You really have to put in a lot of efforts. It was a difficult time for me, I'll say, because from a student not being a very good at academics, I was doing 90%, but the students I was competing at St. Stephen's, they were like 99%, 98%. So it was a tough time for me, but I learned.
Wait 1 second. Someone who has got 90% in science is saying that he was an average student. I think that's the biggest joke. Pranshu, please, you were not an average student. I think you have to give yourself some credit. I think 90% is also very great.
Yeah, but it was a challenging time because I was now sitting with students who are getting 98%, 99% in 12th. But I think it was a great learning experience for me, because I don't saw that as a threat to me or as a competition to me. I saw that as a learning experience for me. Like, how can I learn? What are they doing different? Because till then I was all about sports, extracurricular, and then I moved from that to a more academic field. So I was trying to figure out how they approach their life, what they do in their extra, because then it started from going to my college. Like I used to go to my library, study books, be a part of finance investment cell, entrepreneurship cell. So these are the new things I took up. It was difficult initially, but I think I really enjoyed the process of changing my field from sports to academic. That was a really good learning for me.
I think you were surrounded by nerds, so you.
I was.
Okay, cool. And then when did you think of becoming an entrepreneur? Is that during college, or when did you have that idea, okay, I need to start something of my own?
I think it was in college only. It was in college when I thought, I still remember we were sitting for placements. I got through one of the placements in Delhi University. But I was always like, I want to do something of my own. That was my thought. My father is into business. My grandfather was into business. So I was like, I think I can do something of my own. And from college only, I was pretty sure that I really want to do something of my own, and started thinking about different ideas, business opportunities that was coming my way. It was pretty clear from college only.
That's great. So is that why you decided to do a master's in business from Warwick Business School?
Yeah, that's true. I did my schooling, my graduation, and for master's, I thought a little more practical knowledge was necessary, because in Delhi University, though it's a very tough course, but it's very theoretical. You don't really get a lot of experience with the case studies about different companies, how they are acting in different times globally, domestically in India. So I really wanted that experience, and I thought doing a master's from UK will really enhance my knowledge on those fields. So that's why I decided I'll go for my master's in business marketing, and I opted for Warwick Business School, where I did a 1-year course.
So how was your experience at Warwick Business School? You know, moving from India, where you had lived for the last 22, 23 years of your life, moving to another country. How was that whole experience all by yourself?
It was different. I'll just say in one word, it was different, not expected. Like people have a different mindset, I think, when they believe like coming to a university in UK or some other university in US. They believe it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be partying and all, but it's not. Like, you do a lot of different things. Living by your own self, itself feels a challenge, because for me, I have lived my life with my family. So going out of that comfort zone and living, I think that is all about. Even if you're doing a job, even if you're doing a business, it's all about going out of your comfort zone and making, like, doing that hard work to be safe, to not be safe, I'll say, but to actually challenge yourself in every way and keep yourself motivating. So that is what I thought I learned in Warwick. I met people from different countries, worked with them. It's not easy. Like I have people from in my group, people from China, Africa, I have people from even Portugal. It was a different, like the way they think. You feel that you know a lot about all these things, but you really don't till the time you start working with them. And I think it was a great experience for me.
That's amazing. I always say this about international education is that you are learning from your classmates because
True.
they are all from different backgrounds, different countries, different cultures, and we are always, like you said, in our comfort zone, in our shell, living with our parents. And then when we go out, we actually, see what the real world is all about. Sometimes you forget that and you don't get to see that because if you're in an environment where everyone's the same as you, then you won't grow as much.
True.
Amazing. So then, once you were finishing your masters, how did you decide to move back to your home country, India? Why did you do that?
I think before coming to Warwick, I was pretty sure that I want to move back. I always wanted to start my own business in India only. I was just trying to figure out different industry sectors, opportunities that I can have. And in Warwick, I came with the purpose of learning and meeting different people, networking, and understanding the different perspective of how businesses are done in different parts of the country. So those were the reasons I came to Warwick, and after doing and after having my learning in Warwick, I always planned to go back, and that's why I went back to India and started my own business in India.
Wonderful. So do you think your network today is strong enough, fellow classmates to help you today if you need help?
I think it is. I still can contact people from other parts of the world and figure out how, I'm in logistics industry. I can talk and understand how the industry is growing or how is it evolving in other parts, because India, it's a developing country. A lot of things we do are actually done in a developed countries and then they come to India or other developing countries. So when you talk to them, you understand, actually the way the industry is moving or industry is evolving. That really helps. And plus, I believe more than talking about a particular industry, it's just the way they are. Like when you talk to people from China, they'll give you a whole different mindset, and you'll be blasted like, I don't even think I can have that approach. So those are the kind of things which really helps. And maybe in the near future, if I expand my business in other parts of the world, so I can have a good networking always helps.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Like they say, your network is your net worth.
Yeah, true.
So, okay, so let's talk more about, you as a sportsman. What do you think was your learning as a sportsman that you brought into your daily life, you as a person, or you wanting to start your own business? How did sporting or how did you playing table tennis help you in your career?
I feel playing sports is like doing an MBA. I did my master's, so it's about networking. In sports, you can do networking. It's about team player. In sports, it's team player. It's about a leader. If you're a captain of your team, then you become a leader. And playing sports at a professional level, it's basically you're doing an MBA at a school level. So I think that was a big learning for me. And I would have n number of stories, like playing with different countries, playing with people whom you think you cannot work with. So that happens with me. Like I have my staff, I have my partners. I might not match on the same level with them. But that's what sports taught me. Like when you're playing in a team, it's you bring something to the table, but the other person also brings something to the table. You cannot have a same mindset. You cannot have a same aptitude as the other person. So in sports, I think, and playing sports, it doesn't really matter if you start at an age of 5, 10, 15 or even 50. It's all about you learn so many different skills in your life. Playing with a team, working with different people, that's what's important. And even at an age of 50, you can get to network with so many people around in your life, and that's the beauty of sport. Like it keeps you fit, obviously, but professionally and to your personality, it really enhances that.
So let's talk about you becoming an entrepreneur. How did you get the idea of stepping into such a competitive market like logistics and warehousing? What was the process that you went through and how did you establish it by yourself?
So after going back doing my masters in UK, I went back. I was doing a research for next 6 months over different types of industry, and I always feel you try to figure out a problem and then find a solution. If you think that there's a solution to it, then there is a business to it. So that's why I really approached a lot of sectors, and logistics, I agree, it's very competitive. I think a lot of things in India are competitive, but I thought it's very unorganized. I used to meet to a lot of people and they're like, we are really fed up of the service that we get, and I felt there's a problem in the industry. So I thought, why not actually get into that and figure out the business opportunities, the possibilities I have. So after 3-4 months of research, I was actually interning with a company into logistics and warehousing, and I did an internship for like 6 months with that company. The name of the company is Coldex. They are into warehousing of FMCG companies, transportation of other B2B products as well. So 6 months I was doing internship with different like operations, marketing, finance. So I tried to get some knowledge about all the three of the departments. And then after 6 months, I was pretty sure that this industry is facing a lot of problems, and I can bring in the change. And that was the time I started. So it was approximately an year after that I started my own logistics business. And I always say, do your research properly. I think that is very important. Don't just jump into anything. And if you do your research and if you believe in your idea, I think you will be successful one day.
So did you take up that internship opportunity with the idea of starting your own business one day, or were you confused that you wanted to maybe be an employee?
I think it was a part of my research process. I was just a next step from having a theoretical knowledge, doing a research, talking to people, talking to industry people, industry experts, and then having a practical knowledge. It was just a next step. I knew that I wanted to do a business but not sure about that industry till then. After 6 months of my practical knowledge in finance, marketing, operations, that was the time I was sure that yes, this is the industry I really want to continue and start my own business. I figured out a lot of problems that there were in those industries, and people, the clients, they were facing problem. I was like, yes, let me come up with some solution to it and start my own thing.
So you wanted to get practical training to launch your own business.
But that's very important. Like, start your own business. It will take you 2 years, 3 years to understand the different challenges and understand the problems. Better to work with someone, an established company or maybe a startup in that sector. That really helps, I feel. I think theoretical knowledge is just 20% what you do. 80% goes to the practical experience that you have working in those environments.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling the students who send me these questions. They get one degree, then another degree, then another degree, and then they never get any work ex. And I tell them the maximum learning or the maximum growth you're going to get is in a job or at work. Like you have to get that experience, right?
Agree, totally. So I think when you work, then also you understand like whether you are going for a professional course or a finance course, you figure out those things when you are working. You get a hand-on experience on what is actually happening at the ground level.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what you want to do or you don't want to do unless you try it.
Right, yeah. The implications of those things are way different than how we are taught in a school or in a college.
Yeah, definitely. So then, how old were you when you launched your own business?
I think I was 24 when I started my own business, and like I have mixed thoughts. Like I still remember that day. I was like nervous, scared, but full of enthusiasm. I just want to do it. I'll never fail. I had all of those thoughts in me, and I was like, this was something I was thinking for last 5 years, and the day has come, and I was really excited for that.
That's amazing. And what is the name of your company?
So the name of my company is Truckdo Transport, and we have a sister company by the name QuickPro Logistics.
So you mentioned you work with your friend as your business partner. How does that work?
So I think trust plays a major role when you're starting a business with a friend or with a partner. And I always believe, like I've been into sports, I always believe in like working as a team, and it really helps, enhances your productivity. It adds to your skills as well, and I think every day we learn a lot from each other, and we have our defined roles. I don't interfere. I do give him my thoughts. He do give him his thoughts on my work, but we never interfere with our work. He takes a call on his operations, on his HR. I take mine. So I'll say if you delegate your work early in your business, that it doesn't really get a problem working with a friend or a partner in the company.
So what is the advice you would give to someone who is launching their own business today? What are your top tips as a successful entrepreneur?
First, I'll say is believe in yourself, believe in your idea. Second, don't be afraid to fail. And like if you are starting your own business, people will come. you'll also feel that this might not work. It's okay. Like you're trying something different. It might not be as successful. It might not work. Keep trying implementing, but don't be afraid to fail. And the third and the most important I feel is it's important to have a business which is scalable. And by scalable I mean you should not be involved in every like day-to-day operations or doing things every day with you. Like the owner of the company should have that mindset to just strategize the things happening in the company and not be a part of day-to-day operations. If the company cannot run on an auto mode, I don't think you can actually scale a business. Like there will be a problem like in the increasing HR cost, or you might face the profit margins are going down. But that's okay. It's okay to be a part of a business which is growing. Because if you do everything on your own, it's not possible to scale a business, and you have like 24 hours. Like time is the only constraint you have. Like you can spend more money, you can earn huge profits, you can earn a lot of money in the market, but it's the time is something which is a constraint to you. So just focus on that part. If you hire better people, they'll give you better returns, they'll give you better profits. So it's important to hire good people, skilled people with right skill set in the field that you want them to.
So I know Pranshu as a person, and he is a man who wears many hats. He's extremely social. He is the life of a party, and he's also very, very professional. He's got a strong work ethic. Even if he's had a late night at a social event, he would wake up early and make sure everything is running on track for his business. He will always make sure that. So Pranshu, how do you do this? You're a sportsman, you are a social person, you have so many friends, and you also have this entrepreneurial spirit in you. So how do you balance all these aspects of your life?
I think passion. I have passion for what I'm doing. I have passion for what I play. I have like with the people, with the social event. I feel that connection with having a good network around me. So for having a good social life, it's all. I feel like I really want people around in my life. I like to talk to them about hearing about their experiences. But when it comes to sports and when it comes to my work ethics, it's just passion. I feel like if I'm partying late, it's okay. You can enjoy your life, you can have a great moments in your life. But when it comes to work, because I'm enjoying it, it's my passion, I'll do it at any cost. Even if I have to have like 2 hours of sleep, it's okay. So that used to happen with me when I used to play sports as well. Like playing 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, maybe having your tuitions because you have an exam, Monday exam in your school. But it's okay. After that, you have to play. Even like my parents used to force me like just go and sleep for a while, rest for a while, because I used to enjoy it. That was my passion. So I feel passion is something keeps me motivating and it keeps me going.
That's so amazing. So see, without passion, there is nothing. Passion is your fuel. It will keep you going. So when you are truly passionate about something, that is your sign that you are on the right path. And if you're not feeling passionate or if you're not feeling inspired, then you know that there's something that's wrong. There's something missing that you need to find. That's great, Pranshu. So I just want to end this interview with some final thoughts on what is the advice you would give to your 15-year-old self or to young students and young professionals watching this right now.
I'll say don't feel pressurized by the society, by the family, or by your own self. Like you will be confused, your family will want you to do certain things, or there will be societal pressure. Don't have that feeling at all. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to have those thoughts. That keeps you a little motivated, charged up, because life will ultimately, if you're working hard, life will find its own path. Like we still at our age are trying to figure out what we want to do. Obviously, we might not have 1,000 thoughts. We know that we want to become a doctor right now, but still at this age, we also have our confused thoughts. We do have our own pressure, but if you have a clear mindset, if you're working hard, I think you're gonna do really good in your life.
Great. And then also enjoy life at the same time, right?
Totally.
I think Pranshu and I both live by that motto. Work hard, party hard.
Party hard. I think we're gonna go back for that.
Okay, so thank you so much, Pranshu, for joining me today. It was wonderful chatting with you and getting to know that professional side of your life. So thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Meher. I think it was a great experience with you. Even I could recall a lot of memories which I have completely forgot happened to me like in last 10-15 years. It was a great experience and it still keeps me motivating as well, figuring out what I have done in my life, and going forward I think I'm gonna also follow that path.
It's so amazing. That's what I'm saying. Like, we forget our achievements, we forget our journey, and we have to keep thinking about it very
true.
often. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share and like this video with your friends who want to become entrepreneurs or who want to do economic honors or get into business. They will find it very, very useful, I'm sure. I'll be back soon with another video and another interview with a special person. But until then, keep hustling hard, follow your passions, and don't feel too pressurized. I hope to see you soon. Bye.